Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NGA's Aeronautical Dissemination Team's monthly webinar series. My name is Alex, and I'm excited to have you all here with us in March. Please be sure to pass the invite along to others if you think that they would be interested in learning more about the Aero app or some of our other dissemination methods that we offer. Today, we are going to be having some conversation and demonstrations on mobile device management systems, ACES 1.5 and 2.0, and some other data loading methods that are available to our users. As a reminder, please just remember that the webinar is being recorded and we store those on aeroapp.info as well as our YouTube page for later reference. So we will start with some quick introductions. As I mentioned, my name is Alex, and I am the Aeronautical Dissemination Deputy Mission Manager. I have been here for about 3.5 years now, and I'm excited to be hosting these webinars. So I will be handing it over to Bruce Farnham now.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Bruce Farnham. I'm the Mission Manager for Dissemination, which includes the Aero app and our ACES websites. I've been at the agency for about 17 years now, and have been in this position for almost 7 years. Always happy to answer any of your questions, either through the webinars, direct email, or phone calls.
Good afternoon. My name is Hilton Goldstein. I have Nicole helping me today with the demos. I'm the CEO of Hilton Software and the contractor for Aero app.
All right. Thanks, Hilton and Bruce. So we're going to run through some quick rules of engagement for the webinar today. As with most virtual events, please remember to mute your microphones during the demonstration unless asking a question. We do welcome questions throughout, so please feel free to speak up or enter your questions in the chat. Our team does monitor the chat, and we can address any questions that come up. If we're unable to address your question during the webinar, we are happy to reach out directly or have you send us an email, and we'll follow up. So to start out today, we are going to start with some conversation topics before diving into our demonstrations. So I will hand it over to Bruce and Hilton to kind of kick off our conversation about the mobile device management systems, also known as MDMs.
All right. For those who are not familiar with mobile device management systems, there's many different versions out there. There's 2 or 3 we've seen mostly in the DoD. One's AirWatch. I'll have to think about the other ones in here in a minute, but they're very popular. They allow you to manage your devices. So if you're the admin for a MDM, you can push software to all the devices. You can lock people out of them. If one gets lost, you can zeroize it. But when it comes to the Aero app, it allows you to download data without having to know a password. And I'll let Hilton get into the technical parts of this, but basically what we do is we store specific keys for your organization. And then when you push the button in the Aero app, which they'll show you, it goes and calls those keys and gives you access to our data. And Hilton, are you going to show that screen?
Hey, Bruce. Yep. We are going to be showing the screen, so hopefully you can see that now. So just to elaborate on what Bruce was saying, one of the challenges that we had was remembering passwords and usernames and all that good stuff. And so what we did was we introduced this concept where we essentially bypassing the logging in and allowing people to download the data. That way, as long as you have an iPad that's configured by your IT and it's sort of part of your network and controlled through your MDM, what the MDM will do is it actually pushes various keys in the background. You don't have to do anything or know anything about it that is happening. It just will happen. It'll be set up by your IT administrator. And once those keys are pushed, you see that X there where it says your device has not been configured by your IT support via MDM. That will change to a green check mark, and I forget the exact text, but it's probably your device has been configured or something similar. And what that means at that point is that you have the appropriate keys on your device, which has been pushed to your device by your IT. So that's really good. So that your first step, don't even try anything unless you have that check mark, because MDM download won't work. But as long as you have that check mark, you got the keys, everything set up. At that point, you just tap on the connect button, and it would be as if you had logged in. That way, there is no password, username, logging in, etc. And that's basically the everything you pretty much need to know about MDM, is that there's really nothing for you to do other than your IT admin just sets up MDM to push the keys to your device. Once it's on your device, you can verify that they're on your device by getting the green check mark on this page. And again, you go to this page by going to the download and then AWS and then MDM. And those keys will basically give your iPad permission to hit the appropriate data that's sitting in AWS. So the actual download is done in exactly the same way as whether you had used any of the other logging in mechanisms, whether it's GeoAccess or user database. You're hitting the exact same data. We're not providing any different data to you. It just really bypasses the logging in for GeoAccess and Aero user database. Yeah, that's pretty much MDM. And like I say, it does hit AWS, so it's still really fast. It's all the exact same data. So if someone next to you uses Aero user database or GeoAccess and you use MDM, you're getting the same files. Bruce, if you want to, unless there are questions for MDM, feel free to ask, anytime during the webinar or at the end.
This is Alex. I will just add that there aren't any specific MDM systems that we recommend, but there are quite a few that are pretty popular. Just a couple that a lot of our users utilize are BlackBerry and AirWatch. There are a lot of benefits to using those, and we do have some contacts within AMC that manage the MDM, so if you'd like more information on that, I'm sure we could put you in touch with them.
GeoAccess. We get a lot of questions about GeoAccess because a lot of them use the GeoAccess login and passwords, not just for the Aero app, but also for our ACES website and other websites. And everyone asks, why is it 60 days? And on the Aero app, Aero user database, it's a year. Well, the difference is that GeoAccess allows you through the NGA firewall. And once you get through that firewall, you have access to many other things other than just Aero app data or aeronautical data. So DISA requires us to have a 60-day password reset. Whereas out on the Aero app, you're limited on what data we give you. Yes, there's some LIMDIS, such as vertical obstructions, but there's not the same restriction on those or protections. They are LIMDIS, and there is FOUO, but again, we don't require a 60-day restriction. So if using GeoAccess for your Aero app, it stresses you because it's every 60 days, I understand. You can go on to aeroapp.info and log in and get a Aero user database. But again, that only gives you access to what's on that website and the bucket that's associated with your account. Aero data server, I don't know how many people out there are using it. I know there's quite a few. We've talked to units that have 3 or 4 of them set up. And what the Aero data server, for those who don't know, hosts the Aero app data and allows you to walk into your base ops, connect to it, and download all the data very quickly over Wi-Fi. But one of the challenges people are coming across is a lot of people are now classifying their Aero data servers and their iPads. They're putting additional data on there for specific mission sets, so it requires that higher classification. Well, what we can do now is we've gone beyond Wi-Fi. We've hardwired it. So you can purchase a dongle at Walmart that will plug into your iPad or your Android device. Then you hardwire it to your secure laptop running your Aero data server. It allows you to download all the data at a very high speed and not giving up your classified tablet. I've tested it here. I have 2 Aero data servers, one on a MacBook, one on a Windows PC. I hardwire it, and it's many times faster than Wi-Fi. I can download the entire world's data, most people don't, in just 2 or 3 minutes. So it's very efficient, keeps you secure, and we're seeing a lot of movement towards secure devices. The Army, the Marines, some in the Navy, but more so in the Marines and the Army, They want to have classified tablets and keep them classified. So hardwiring your Aero data server is a great solution for that. Hilton, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Not really, Bruce. You covered that really, really well. Just some sort of geeky background. You know, the nice thing with Hardwired is it's hardwired, so you don't have potential interference as well. You don't have competing Wi-Fi networks. There are various different protocols. You got 802.11b, G, A, AX, etc., etc. And so you just have many variables that can sort of affect your download speed. And the nice thing with Hardwired is you really don't. You don't really have bandwidth type issues or interference or protocols. And that's why, Bruce said that it really is quick. I know we were demoing it at a show, and it was very, very impressive. In fact, it's so fast, the iPad and everything's so fast that it's not even the network that's the bottleneck at that point. It's probably your hard drive, or the SSD on the Aero data server. But it essentially works the same way in terms of IP addresses and everything. So just like what I was saying with MDM, where you're getting the same data, it's the same case. You're getting the same data. All the internals are exactly the same. You're just using a different transport mechanism from the one device to the other device, but don't expect anything to be different, which is a good thing. If you're familiar with using Wi-Fi, like Bruce says, just you can go buy a dongle, you can plug it in. We do recommend that you do turn Wi-Fi off, but my guess is, if it's a secure type iPad, you probably don't have that option, or it is permanently off. But yeah, and if you can do it, we'd recommend it. But Wi-Fi also, if you can, is still secure, and that's also fast. So now we provide 2 ways for you to do it, and it's up to you whether you want the mobility of Wi-Fi or you want that hardwired, secured, fast capability. But both of them work just as well, just different. Yeah, I just wanted to add that from sort of the technical side of it.
And piggybacking on your comment about its speed, when we've tested it, or you're downloading Wi-Fi, as each file starts downloading, it's showing you the speed at which it downloads that individual file. It will jump between the files so fast that it won't have a chance to calculate the speed. It'll jump to the next one, then jumps to the next one. It's pretty amazing. Back to you, Alex.
All right. Well, if there aren't any questions on these topics, we can go ahead and move on to the next. So here we are going to talk about some of the differences between ACES 2.0 and ACES 1.5. A lot of our mission planning users are pretty familiar with these websites already. ACES 2.0 is our pretty newly released website that encompasses all of our legacy sites, those being ACES 1.0, cards, and Aerospatial. ACES 2.0 is CAC enabled and provides information that can go up to unclassified LIMDIS. And ACES 1.5 is username or email and password enabled, and that provides only unclassified information. So that is our commercial website, and it's a really great option for a lot of our foreign partners and customers without a CAC. We recently created a common splash page that will actually direct users to the appropriate website. So I will pull that up and allow everyone to see that. So this is our new splash page that we have. As you can see, the link is aeronautical.nga.mil, and that is the link that will take you to ACES 2.0. So when you get to the splash page, you have the option of being directed through GeoAccess to go into ACES 2.0, or selecting ACES 1.5 and being directed to that commercial website for the Leidos hosted site. So by selecting Login with GeoAccess, it prompts you to select your CAC and certificate, and then it will bring you into the website. This is ACES 2.0. This is where you can find all of your aeronautical data that's produced by NGA, and we actually have an Aero app tile here where you can select Aero app. You can see all of the data downloads that are available here. We have all of the moving map files, and you can actually download the application from the website as well, along with the Aero data server and our quick start guides and user manuals. So there are a lot of really useful downloads on ACES 2.0 and a lot of really good information there as well. Does anyone have any questions about ACES 1.5 or 2.0?
Alex, can you show them where to go if they still want to hit the legacy map on ACES 1?
Absolutely. So there is a really good map that we had associated with ACES 1.0. Currently, we are developing a new map feature for ACES 2.0, and it will be in beta testing here soon. If you're interested in testing that at some point, please let us know, and we can absolutely send that over to you. If you still want to access that map right now, you actually select external links and then select ACES 1.0 commercial. That will bring you to the Leidos hosted website. And again, that is just username or email and password, and you can access that map. So that map will actually give you things like the raw geometry of airfields, boundaries, navies, waypoints, all of the information that was previously hosted on the map.
There was a question in the chat. Can you get the Aero app on the Apple App Store? Yes, you can. That one's signed by Apple. And then the ones that are on our website, since we're distributing it to the DoD, are signed with a DoD certificate versus an Apple certificate. That's the only difference between them. A lot of the units out there that have DoD-owned tablets prefer to have the DoD signed application. That gives them that extra sense of security that has been DoD vetted, but the one coming off the Apple App Store is exactly the same. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. I was just waiting to see if there were any other questions about ACES or about any of our data loading methods or accessibility.
I might have missed it when I was looking at the chat. Did you show them the external links that we have as well?
So under external links, like we were kind of demonstrating, we have the ACES 1.0 commercial link. We have the ACES 1.5 link as well. So that will take you to a similar login page that will bring you to ACES 1.5. And then we also have a link to ASPS. So by selecting that, that will bring you again to the ASPS login, which is email and password. If you are interested in getting access to that, you can request an ASPS account, and our ASPS mission manager will get that set up for you. We also have some mission planning links as well. You can actually access map of the world, NOTAMs, tags, surveys, and weather. Those are all external links. So by selecting that, say NOTAMs, that will take you to the DAPE website. Tags is an internal link, and then weather, we have different options. So if you select Air Force Weather, that will bring you to an external website for the 557th, again with NOAA and Navy weather. If you have access to ACES 2.0 and you are looking for more information, you can always select the Help banner up at the top, and we have our user guides located here in a PDF format. We also have information about the Aero Help Desk if you are looking to get in touch with them or submit a help desk ticket.
Also on ACES 2.0, if you consistently come back every cycle and download the same data sets, it will remember those. You can set it up where it goes to your library. So you come in and it's one click. You're not having to go through and reselect all the individual files that you did last cycle. You just go to your library and single click, and it remembers everything you downloaded previously.
Library is really great. You can actually download or bundle quite a few products. So here, if I wanted to select all of our en route supplements and add those to my library, I can do that. You can also download them into a bundled package and then go back to your library and see all of those. If there aren't any other questions on ACES 2.0, I always like to mention, while we have everyone's attention, that aeroapp.info is a really great website as well and provides a lot of really good information about AeroApp. It has all of our user guides, all of our notices, information about the latest release, new features or current features, so always check that out. It's also a really great place to submit any questions, or if you have trouble with the application or ADS, you can submit a contact us form on the website, and that will bring you to the contact us page where you can provide all of your contact info and the problem that you're having, and a representative from Hilton Software will be in touch with you to work directly with you on the application. They are extremely fast in getting back to you and really great to work with. You can also access our previous webinars or link to our YouTube page. We also have our AeroApp Fundamentals course listed under training, and those will take you to the links on YouTube for that information. So again, if you're not familiar with AeroApp or you just want to learn more, definitely check out the aeroapp.info website. Bruce or Hilton, do you have anything to add before we move into our Q&A portion?
We just had a question pop up in the chat. With the Aero app on non-classified, publicly available FAA maps, approach plates, shouldn't require a login to download. Yeah, we understand that, but unfortunately, it's not just the FAA products on the Aero app. We have all the DoD products on there as well. If we were a commercial application and only had FAA, absolutely. But we have to protect the DoD data. A lot of that data has host source information in it, and it can't be publicly released. I think we're ready for the Q&A.
All right, if there are any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or speak up. You can take yourself off of mute if that's easiest. And we also want to know what kind of webinar topics or information you all would like to see presented in the future. This helps us know what's most important to you all and helps us tailor these events for our customers.
And I'm going to create a conversation here on what's coming up here regarding the Aero app. We've had an expansion of the data we put into our Aero app above and beyond what we normally have. And some of that is LIMDIS or FOUO. So a change coming to the Aero app is we'll be putting banners on the top of every screen so that the user is aware that they could have up to LIMDIS FOUO on that tablet. It will also, if they classify that tablet, we'll have a button on there and it will change that banner to red for classified or secret, and it will not allow you to roll it back. Once you've turned it to secret, it's there to stay. So we'll be adding those in the near future to the applications. And we've already had a few people ask us, well, why are you doing that? And some of the commercial products that have your DoD data on there, not doing it. We have more data on ours than they have on theirs. Some of that has a lot of host country information in it that can't be shared. Even vertical obstructions from our DoD database is limited distribution. And so are like that airfield qualification program, some of that airfield foundation data that we will have. Things like that require us now to have a banner. You're on an older version. As soon as the next version comes out that has those banners, we need everyone to upgrade to those new versions. That'll protect you and protect our data. I see a question in the chat. Is it possible to get access to Air Force weather in the app for Five Eye partners, such as Australia? And that's a question we'll have to look into. I don't have the answer to that right off the top of my head, but if you want to shoot us an email, we can get back to you. Is the hardware Aero data server option via USB or Ethernet dongle? You're talking about the connection to the tablet USB plugging into the dongle. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, Hilton, but I believe that's the way I had mine configured.
Yeah, it basically, you get one of those dongles that connect directly into the Ethernet, essentially. So right onto your Ethernet port of your wireless access point or something similar. But basically your iPad becomes just another device on your network. And then that way it can do all the IP address and all that. So you basically get a dongle that connects into your Lightning port at the bottom of your iPad, and then or USB-C at the bottom of your iPad, and then somehow converts it into Ethernet. I've never really understood the magic of how all that hardware works. I'm not a hardware guy, but you can buy it from various places online. It's basically as simple as that. Is you plug that USB-C or the Lightning into the bottom of your iPad, and you plug the other side, the Ethernet part, into your wireless access point or switch or something like that, and you should be good to go.
Does anybody else have any questions, technical or about where we're going with the Aero app or the ACES 2.0 website or the dissemination program as a whole? We will be attending the Army Aviation Association of America conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Hope any Army folks out there are interested in coming. Please share it with your friends. We'll be in booth, I think it's 2017. We're also attending the Navy Helicopter Association Symposium. That's in Norfolk, Virginia, May 11th through 13th. Another question popped up. Is ADS or Linux Red Hat possible? I have to defer that one to Hilton.
Yeah, so to answer your question, yes, it is. In fact, our Mac OS implementation is essentially ADS running on a version of Unix because that's what Mac OS is, just like Linux. I mean, the same but different. Yeah, so that's something that that we're looking at. I think the primary work that needs to be done there is on the installer, not the actual software. There will be some changes, probably. This is something we're looking into now, but there will be some changes required. There will be changes required to the install program. There may be changes required to the software. But to answer your question is, we don't have it up and running yet, but none of us here see a reason why we cannot or should not be able to get that up and running. So we're pretty optimistic that we can get that up and running. And then it's really up to NGA just to give us the go ahead to move forward on that. But yeah, so hopefully we can see that in the future.
And that kind of triggered a thought. I've had people ask me about using the Aero app in their simulators. And yes, you can. There is tools out there to connect to the simulator. So it passes your XY coordinates of the aircraft and even altitude coordinates from the simulator to the iPad. So you can use it in the simulator, and it just thinks wherever that simulator is, that's where the iPad shows you to be. So you can train like you fight or train like you really fly in your simulator using the Aero app. Does the Aero app work with ADS-B? Absolutely. We use several ADS-B receivers. If you have an ADS-B receiver and it's using GDL90 format, which is the industry standard, it will work with it. There is some ADS-B receivers out there that are proprietary to specific products. Stratus 1 and 2 are proprietary. They came out with Stratus 3, and it has a GDL90 format and works with nearly every other EFB out there. And I would guess right now, talking to most of our customers, the Stratus 3 is probably the most popular right now.
And Bruce, just to add to that, that includes weather and traffic from ADS-B.
Y'all can't let me off that easy. Gotta ask more questions. Don't be afraid to ask anything. Well, if there's no other questions for myself, I'm gonna hand it back to Alex.
All right. Looks like today was. Oh,
we just got a question.
Perfect.
Is the Aero app being integrated with the Army's mission planning software? I don't know if it's being integrated, but you bring up a great subject. We work directly with the Air Warrior program out of Huntsville, and there's been a shift in the Army's thought process. They were deploying iOS iPads, and they are making a shift now to Android. They saw the benefits of a device that they could lock down and manage better. They can classify easier. They can integrate it with radios in the aircraft. They can have multiple applications running on the same tablet and sharing data. There's a lot of benefits to Android over iOS. iOS and iPad is great. I'm an iPad fan myself, but there's just so many more things you can do with Android that you cannot do with iOS. So the Army's doing that shift, and we'll be meeting with the Air Warrior folks in April at Quad A, and maybe making a trip down there. And that's something we can talk to them about. What is their plans regarding their mission planning systems? And I know a lot of the data in the mission planning systems can be exported to the Aero app. Your routes, your CRD files, you can create a map in a GeoTIFF format, and the Aero data server can convert it to an MB tile and load it into your Aero app. And I'm sure if we work with them, there's a lot of other things we can do. Is there something specific you are interested in it being able to do? And again, if you come up with questions after this meeting, feel free to email us. Mainly to have our routes depicted on the map and being able to edit in real time. Yeah, if you export the CRD file, you can load it right into the Aero app. And then once it's on the Aero app, yes, you can drag and drop points, add points, delete the route. I'm sorry, Alex, it's doesn't seem to be any other questions. Back to you.
All right. So today was a little bit shorter webinar, so we'll give you all some time back. But again, we would love to know what webinar topics or information you all would like to see presented in the future. So just let us know. You can send us an email to aerodistro@nga.mil. Propose some topics or ideas. Of course, we always really appreciate getting Aero app feedback and suggestions for the app there as well. As Bruce mentioned, we will be at Quad A and NHA in the next couple months, so please stop by, say hi. We really enjoy getting to meet the customers and interact with you all in person, so we're excited to be able to do that again. So again, please stop by. Thank you all for attending the webinar. We look forward to seeing you all again in April. And for more information on our features and updates, again, please visit aeroapp.info or contact our team at aerodistro@nga.mil. And we will stay on the line for a little bit. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat or feel free to speak up. Everyone have a great day.